It's coming. And it's bigger than ever. The 2020 Indie Originals Talent Competition. Music. Movies. Authors and literature. Game creators. Comic book artists. Enter your creative independent original art now. Become award-winning and rule the universe. IndieOriginals.com. Contest open September 1st. This is Indie Originals Live, the world's #1 source for independent music. The official host and sponsor of IndieCon. And the official Indie Originals music, literature, and film competition. Heard every Friday at 9 on 16 radio stations all across the United States and globally on podcast everywhere. Find all our back episodes on Spotify, on iHeartRadio, on iTunes, on YouTube, and at www.indieoriginals.com. Now, let's jump into the hottest indie music in the entire world. Featuring your hosts, Chuck Fresh and Felicia B.
Hi, Chuck Fresh here from Indie Originals Live. We've got another award-winning band here with us because we only do award-winning bands on this show. Anybody who has not won an Indie Originals Award will never be on this show because we hate you. So jump in our contest, the Indie Originals Talent Show, and you will get an award if you're good, and then you'll be on our show. That's how it works. I do sound like a pompous twit, don't I? Yeah. See. We're honored to be here with Bianca Jazmine. I'm so excited here. Jumping in my seat tonight, can't believe it. She did perform at IndieCon 2019. It was an amazing show up there. She did a couple of songs she had played for the first time without rehearsal. I just don't even understand how you even do that. The songs, when you played them, didn't even have a name. Is that true?
Yeah, so one of our songs was a piano ballad that we played. That one did not have a name yet, but there was 2 other new songs unreleased that we played that day as well. So
and you felt confident enough to play those live in front of thousands of people.
Well, we really loved the songs, so we were really excited to play them.
It sounded amazing. I mean, you came off like you've been playing it for years. It's amazing. So, where is Joshua?
I'm right here.
Is your last name really Holka?
It sure is.
Do you turn green when you get angry?
Yes, every single time.
Do you get angry a lot?
Yes, I'm actually green right now. I just had to paint my skin though, so that way you guys didn't see it. So the color grade is even.
Right. So Joshua, you're the king of bass face. We have a big thing on the show with bass face. Can you show our fans and your fans bass face? Just give us a bass face. Go ahead. Come on, you can do it. We want it, don't we? Give it up. We want to see Joshua's bass face. One bass face. Go ahead. Put a bass in his hand. We have a bass here.
There you go. I just smile.
You just smile. He doesn't do. Does he do bass face?
His bass face, you have your typical bass face, it's a very specific specimen of emotion, and
right.
he reaches this spectrum of the emotions that I feel like is not supposed to happen for bass, but Joshua is very unique in his kind. So they've been studying him for years on this. Bass face specialists from all over the world. They were just one at our last show, and yeah.
What the hell are you talking about? Can you do a bass face for us?
I sometimes play the bass. It's really hard for me because the bass is about as large as I am. Right. So it's like, imagine me again, but slightly diagonal, and then like me holding myself. And that's
Let's
what
see. Go ahead,
so it's like a little bit strained. It's like,
give us one. No, go deeper than that.
It's like,
stronger. Feel it. I'll make the bass sounds. Okay, ready?
Yeah, it's very strained.
All right, that's good. Bass face. That's good enough for now. We'll work on that, right?
I've done nothing wrong, yet I'm still doing time. I beg to the judge, but speaking was a crime. Try to rattle and shake, but the bars wouldn't break. God, I feel so confined, can't escape
You jump around like a crazy man when you play bass on the stage, and I like it. Is that hard for you to do? Were you into gymnastics in school?
I always wanted to do gymnastics, but I just have way too much energy all the time. So I can't, when the frequencies of the bass are going, it automatically propels me up in the air. So it's not.
It's an amazing show. If you've ever seen these guys play live, it's amazing. So much energy on the stage. It's really entertaining to watch. So, how long have you been playing bass?
Almost a year.
Wow. See, that's the second time we talked to somebody else who's just been playing for a couple of months, and it's just a year. What did you play before that?
Guitar. So
a natural transition.
Kind of. I just had to switch my mindset more so than anything.
I understand that the bassist is one of the most important people in the band. Is that true? They keep the rhythm for the head of the drummer? The drummers hate me for saying that, but is that true?
Sometimes.
It's absolutely true. Our drummer's not here. We can make fun of him.
That's true. You say whatever you want. What do you think? Who keeps the rhythm for the band?
I would say, Joshua, he really leads some of these songs for us. He really does the honor. But Kevin does the honor as well sometimes. But Colin is definitely an integral part of our heartbeat as well. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it out tonight for this interview, but we're still feeling the beat of his heart in our chests.
I'm actually going to be calling today, just so you guys know.
Okay, that's good. So, you spent some time at Starbucks and Publix, I understand, right?
I sure did.
Yeah. So, why leave a great job like Starbucks as a barista and work in rock and roll?
I don't want to go too into detail about it. However, I didn't voluntarily leave. So.
Okay, we'll stop them right there. It's going to be a little uncomfortable. That's good.
Can you hear our voices? Can you hear our voices? Humankind is losing the war against itself. Every night we hear stories telling our terror. When the soul has been poisoned, who's gonna show for the hurting exploited?
So how did you two come together?
Joshua and both actually Coven and Joshua are both friends of mine from high school. Joshua and I became closer with actually through music therapy education in college. We both took a music therapy class, and it was a lot of fun. So
Wait. What is music therapy?
So music therapy is just like normal therapy, but it's ingrained with music. So like using music and things like that to heal. It's a different approach to normal like talk therapy. It's actually really interesting and a lot of fun to learn about.
So Jake broke his leg. Would you be able to fix his leg with music therapy?
It depends what note you hum. Sometimes the vibration of the note can actually fuse the bone fracture back to.
Did it work?
Sí.
Nice. Is it for more like mental conditions?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. But as you can see, Jake is good as new. So.
No, I think that was witchcraft. I'm not sure. So, Bianca, let's go to you now. Tell us when the music bug bit you. Like when you were a little kid, were you the type of kid that was running around? Maybe Mom and Dad could answer this question. Was she running around banging on pots and pans as a 3-year-old, being really annoying? Is that what happened? Like when did you know music was your thing?
Well, I think they realized it very fast because I would never shut up. I was just always singing very obnoxiously at all times. And
What were you singing?
usually, growing up, I was anything between the Beatles and like old stuff, and then like whatever was like the pop hit, like on the radio it was like Fergie and Black Eyed Peas, things like that whole spike of the pop industry was definitely in my ears a lot, along with like heavy metal and also like some Bocelli. I would sing a lot of Bocelli.
Give us some Bocelli. Go ahead.
Uno pensiero e di pensiero.
That's amazing. So you did that as a child?
Yeah, well, only as a child, yes. I haven't done that in about 10 years, so thank you.
It's amazing. Amazing. So did you start playing instruments right away, or were you just developing your voice?
Well, at first, ironically, the first instrument I learned was guitar, and then I learned piano, flute, ukulele, and those are the ones I kind of stick around with now, mostly piano for songwriting. But I was mostly vocally driven as a child.
Right. Mm-hmm. Wow, that's amazing. So what about Joshua? Does will he do a Bocelli, like something like a duet with you?
Only if it was Russian.
Only if there's money and beer involved?
No, if it was Russian.
It's Russian?
It has to be Russian.
Yeah.
You can do Russian?
Join a choir that sings classic Russian music.
Can you give us a little sample of that?
No.
No bass face. His new name is No. That's what a man that stands up to his standards. You got to admire that, right?
Tell me what's a party when your mind's at home. I hear the open road calling on my soul. No map, no navigation, matter of fact, no destination. We'll figure out the route as we go. One bag, no hesitation. Your life is your creation. Don't think about it, just turn up the radio. Come on, let's go. Don't try to fight it, let's just hit the road. 'Cause you'll find love no matter where you go. You'll find love no matter where you go. You'll find love no matter where you go. Come on, let's go. You'll find love no matter where you go. You'll find love no matter where you go. You'll find love. You can't win a race if you never try. A bird needs the wind if it's gonna fly. Ooh, no map, no navigation, matter of fact, no destination. We'll figure out the route as we go. One bag, no hesitation. Your life is your creation. Don't think about it, just turn up the radio. Come on, let's go. Don't try to fight it, got to just enjoy the ride. Drop your compass. The wind is your guide. It won't steer you wrong. So come on, let's go. Don't try to fight it. Let's just hit the road. 'Cause you'll find love no matter where you go. You'll find love no matter where you go. You'll find love no matter where you go. Come on, let's go. You'll find love no matter where you go. You'll find love no matter where you go. You'll find love. You'll find love. You'll find love. You'll find love no matter where you go. You'll find love. You'll find love no matter where you go.
I understand you've always been involved in some kind of art, be it photography, performance art. Are you still involved in those types of things?
More so for hobby now. I still do photography. You know, if I'm working out, I'm usually dancing instead of like going to the gym. Like I like to do that instead. And then theater and stuff, not so much anymore. But definitely, I'd say photography and dance are still a part of my life.
Awesome.
And on stage as well.
Right. So is there a possibility, however remotely, that maybe in the future there might be a Bianca Jazmine musical?
Well, that's up to the band. You ask them, I'll write it. I need the guys to be in on it too. So you got to do the convincing.
Would you be involved? We have like dance and performance and things like that. Was something you might be involved in, Josh?
Only if we translate all the lyrics to Russian.
Kevin, how about you? What do you think? A Bianca Jazmine musical on stage with dancing and fine costumes and feathers?
You're gonna have to find me a stunt double.
No dancing for you?
I'd break my hip.
Okay, I understand that. Who's this young person that's joined us over here?
Please welcome Mr. Tristan.
Tristan, how are you? And what do you do for a living?
I play music and I teach music for a living. Yes.
What instrument do you play?
I play guitar and piano. Yes.
And how did you hook up with these fine young Russians?
And I met them through the place where me and Bianca both teach at, and same with Kevin as well.
So all of you, do you think that we would find music therapy in the songs that you write?
In a way, I mean, maybe not technically speaking. You know, a person with an actual license would probably kill me for saying this, but I guess, you know, it's an interpretation thing. If it's music therapy for you, you know, you totally have the right to feel that way.
Yeah. But maybe like subconsciously when you're creating this music, maybe you're taking elements of the therapy and kind of, maybe it's why we find it so uplifting. You know, maybe that's what's going on there. Are there certain notes in music therapy that people respond to better as far as emotionally?
Well, we did talk about certain notes like convincing Joshua to join the band and healing Jake's leg. So, you know, part of it is some of it is part of the process. Yes.
Look past me, don't look at me. Boundaries set straight to inner prison. You between like radiation.
You went to this school called Key to Music, and this seems to have a big influence in your life. Is this the school we're talking about now? Is this something? This is where you went to learn music?
Yeah, this is actually a whole full circle generational thing. So I actually went to Key to Music when I was training my vocals specifically, and then I actually ended up teaching there now. And that's actually all of us here have taught at Key to Music. So we're just a bunch of teachers and performers.
What do you all teach there? You teach vocals and performance, guitar, piano? What do you teach there?
I personally teach vocals, piano, ukulele, a little bit of guitar, and some flute as well. If you guys want to.
I taught like 5 guitar lessons and 2 drum lessons, and then yeah, of course, and that's basically what I did.
Nice.
So
you teach also?
I teach guitar.
Really? And Tristan?
I teach guitar and piano.
That's amazing. So teachers as well as performers. That's quite unusual. I mean, there's a lot of teachers who create bands, but they're usually cover bands, not original bands. You guys do covers also, right?
Sometimes, but we definitely prefer original sets. Like tonight is all originals.
Awesome. Also, we can't wait to hear it tonight. So I've got a couple other questions for you. Do you have hidden messages in your music? If we were to play one of your songs backwards, say we took the key and played it backwards, would we hear satanic messages?
Only in Russian.
That's well done.
we do have hidden messages, not in the music itself, but if you pay close attention to a couple pictures that we have, there's
Oh, tell us what's going on.
All right, we have
Spill!
we have to out it. All right, so and here it goes. You'll Find Love, the single cover art, photoshopped in there, very, very small, is actually a picture of a pigeon that we took a very long time. You can't see him. He's blending into the rocks. I mean, you can really see him if you know where he is, but his name is General Wilson, and he is a pigeon, and he is featured in the You'll Find Love cover art.
What's the significance of a pigeon in the cover art? General Wilson. Why would you name a pigeon General Wilson?
He's powerful beyond any means you could ever imagine, and it's not something you should question.
Does he speak Russian?
Of course he does.
He's Russian. I understand. KGB, right. Okay, so how many nights a week do you guys play out? This is full-time for all of you besides your teaching?
Well, teaching is technically full-time, but we do like to play a couple times a month. Like this month we have tonight, and then August 22nd we'll be over at O'Malley's, and then we're going to New Orleans for Cutting Edge Music Conference literally the morning after. And then the following month we have the 9/11 Celebrate Life Festival, where we'll be playing hosted by Good Vibes Festival Productions. And then we have another one by Full Circle Booking on the 17th.
Nice. That's right. You guys are busy then, so you're teaching, doing that. Do you have a hard time getting off your teaching job to play when you go to these festivals?
Well, fortunately, my job is actually very understanding and supports my career in music, so they're very understanding about it. They've been really good so far.
You don't work with this gentleman, I've heard hear anything, this guy named Robert Espinera. You ever heard of him, have you? Is he a good guy?
Say the name in Russian. I don't know.
Robert Espinera.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, yeah, I do know him. He's a really great guy. Actually, one of the founders of Good Vibes Festival Productions.
I heard a lot of good things about him too.
All right. So this next song is called "Pain's Got a Rhythm," another unreleased song, but this one does have a name, so you get that.
So tired.
Okay, so we're going to keep going on now. What's the strangest thing you've ever seen while performing out? Let's give this to Joshua.
Yay, I get to tell the fun story. So, we had a wonderful performance in DeLand, Florida, and we had performed 3 or 4 times in the day. It was a gigantic festival in downtown DeLand, and the last set we played was at night. It was 10 p.m. To cut the story kind of short because it's kind of long, we played in this random abandoned park where no one was, but there was a PA set up outdoors. No one there. And we decided, you know what, we were scheduled to play here. We're going to run the PA, do it ourselves. And so we set up the PA. We had brought a PA, so we set up more speakers and stuff. And we started playing. A couple people kind of started coming over. We were like, hey, you guys turn on your flashlights so we can actually see, because it's like pitch black out here, so you need help. Best part is the sprinklers came on because it's in the park. So the whole crowd starts getting wet, and we're like, all right, this isn't good. So they all ran to the side. And so we performed, instead of facing forward, we performed that way and that way. And then the sprinklers came on where we were standing, which was not particularly fun. So we had the entire crowd get on the stage with us, and we had
essentially a giant mosh pit. Yeah.
And then that was it was quite the time.
It turned out to be like the worst possible situation into like one of the best memories I have. That's like the highlight of it, because like we walked in there like, oh my god, like we signed up for this time slot. It looks like there was a mistake. Nobody's here running anything. The whole place is shut down. But then, you know, people start trickling in, and we made it a party. We made the best out of it. It was a lot of fun, actually.
That's awesome. So it was pretty cool, right? So you turned something that was negative into a positive. That's what teachers do. That's awesome. Yeah, it's great. So who's the prankster in the group? You guys practice a lot together, right? And you probably spend a lot of time getting on each other's nerves, kind of like the spring does. And who's the prankster? Like, who kind of livens things up? I'd have to say probably Tristan, right?
Tristan is actually the sweet angel of the band, but it's actually probably mixed chaos between everyone. When we all get together and it's, you know, it's dark outside, and, you know, we're all a little bit hungry, you know, it gets a little weird. Yeah.
You get hangry, right?
That's what you call it.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. We just start humming random notes. People's legs start healing, you know, spontaneously. It's a lot of fun. We really enjoy practice time.
Just don't use your powers for the negative, because you could probably break things too.
Yeah.
Hear Our Voices. Beautiful name, beautiful title, great stuff. So where did that name come from? What inspired that?
So Hear Our Voices was a song I wrote about more on a global scale of kind of like healing our world and thinking about like the wide scale issues that are happening. It's not necessarily meant to be a political song or anything like that, and people sometimes, you know, take it that way, but it's more like an overall unity, like, you know, no matter what you believe, you know, violence doesn't need to be in the picture, hate doesn't need to be in the picture, discrimination doesn't need to be in the picture, and, you know, people who feel that way are you know, they're standing up now, and they have something to say about it. So I'm just kind of encouraging that wave of, you know, people hearing your voices and using your voice to change things for the better.
Awesome. So is that a theme throughout all of your music?
Yeah, whether it's introspective, you know, global, there is always some kind of like, it's, you know, taking something and giving it a hopeful tinge on any scale. Mm-hmm.
So there is a hopeful secret message in all of your music?
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but only if you speak Russian.
Awesome. Tell us about your creative process. How do you guys get together to write your songs?
Well, sometimes we jam out for a little bit. It turns into this big collateral of music, and sometimes it's more organized. Sometimes we sit down with the computer, you know, do like the classic production style. So it really depends like on what we're going for with that song. Sometimes it's, you know, if it's rockier, usually it's coming out of like a big jam. If it's something a little more technical, it'll come out of like a production setting.
Do you do most of the lyrics for your band?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do all the lyrics and the vocal stuff. The guys help out with the music stuff as well.
Hands
Where was the EP Here Our Voices recorded? Who took care of that? Who was your producer?
That was actually, most of that was recorded out in LA with Caleb Middlebrooks. One of the songs, Frequencies, was actually recorded locally because we ran out of time. And so we had to come back and do it here. And that was with George Moody, who's really, really, really cool man.
What's it like recording out in LA? Do you feel like the big guns out there?
It's actually really beautiful because I got to stay like right in the arts hub. I got a little like Airbnb there. Just like by day 3, I was like, oh yep, this is my neighborhood. Just walking out to that coffee shop. Like my brain like adapted to it probably way too fast. I was like, oh yeah, I live in Florida. What? I forgot. Like it just became like my routine. It was beautiful out there. I really loved it.
Florida, California, it's all the same thing, right? Who else went out there with you?
Actually just my dad, the guy who I vaguely talked about with Good Vibes Festival Productions. He's my number one supporter. So he came out there with me to LA, and he was witnessing all the hours in the studios, and good and bad hours. You get to that 11 p.m. and you're just like, oh my gosh, like the sweat and tears come out, but at the end it's all worth it.
So at IndieCon, you worked on these new songs. Are these new songs going to be featured? Is there a new EP in the pipeline here?
We're probably going to start with the single, but we are working on getting these songs recorded, yeah.
Awesome. We can't wait to hear it. We're going to have a little bit of video from tonight's performance here at the Standard Collective in Melbourne, Florida, on this show, which will be on YouTube, and also the audio version on our podcast, too. So, Jake, do you have any questions for these lovely teachers? Jake is a teacher also.
Sí, yo hablo español.
Jake teaches art to all kinds of different people. And what else do you teach?
En español.
So we have Russia. This is a global podcast here. So where can you find out more about Bianca Jazmine? And I hesitate to say, somebody told me the jazz hands, but we're not allowed to say that.
Yeah, the jazz hands. It's very intimate thing for us. So you can actually find us on our website. Has all our social media links. BiancaJazmine.com. That's JAZMINE. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for that. Complicated spelling, but BiancaJazmine.com.
You'll find it on Spotify. That is our catchphrase for when we get asked this question, because you'll find love on Spotify.
Nice.
And through smoke signals and generational stories.
Where can we find more about Tristan? Instagram, there you go. You guys have Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff too?
Yep, all of that is linked on our website, so you can find us. If you want to look at us directly, it's Bianca Jazmine Music for that.
Well, great. Well, thanks for spending some time with us. We love what you guys are doing. We love your sound, and we can't wait to hear you here tonight.
Thank you. We love your accent.
Yeah, I picked that up yesterday. So next week would be Russian. I'll work with Joshua for that. Thank you. Yeah. So thank you for talking to us tonight, and let's get you on stage when I can't wait to hear Bianca Jazmine. Chuck Pressure, take Estrada, we out. Standard Collective, Melbourne, Florida, we out. Yeah.
This is Chuck Fresh from Indie Originals Live. You can hear this program every Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific, featuring the hottest independent music and artists from across the globe. I'm telling you, this music is definitely better than any of the nonsense you're going to hear on those other radio stations. Indie Originals Live every Friday at 9, only here on the AM/FM 24/7 Radio Network. It's coming, and it's bigger than ever. The 2020 Indie Originals Talent Competition. Music. Movies. Authors and literature. Game creators. Comic book artists. Enter your creative, independent, original art now. Become award-winning and rule the universe. IndieOriginals.com. Contest open September 1st.
Chuck Fresh along with Jake Estrada. This is my new accent now. It took me years to develop this, or weeks, whatever you have. That's not really good. Jake, Indie Originals Talent Contest 2020 coming up. I'm excited. Are you as excited as I am?
I'm definitely excited, guys.
This year is going to be a little bit different because we've added a whole bunch of new categories.
Right, we did.
We've got music like last year, but it expanded. Now we have hip hop and also Latin music we've added to it. And we're thinking about adding show tunes in classical too. So maybe some other stuff. Sí, yo quiero reggaeton, man.
Qué bueno, nosotros puede cantar un reggaeton.
And we have the movies, which we've expanded a couple additional categories in the movie categories. Also literature with more entries and options for poetry. And what else did we add this year?
Comic books.
And what else?
And board games and card games. We added games.
Yeah, that's right. We got video games as well, too.
Right.
So if you're an independent creator and you do games, if you do comic books, if you do... We love the board game thing. Like some of the card games we've seen already.
Yeah, very intricate. Like, we're looking for guys that make those card games similar to like Magic the Gathering. Right. D&D.
And there's a lot of them out there.
Tons. There's a whole market in this, guys.
This is the thing. We're going to give you an opportunity to get exposure, and number two, to win and potentially win an award, because this is the first year we're doing this.
That's
So
right.
if you enter this year, we got low entry fees, and you have a chance to become an award-winning game creator, which could help advance your career a little bit quicker.
Definitely. Most definitely.
So it gives you a little bit of an edge. And tell us about the comic book competition. This is the first time we're doing this.
Yeah, the comic book contest, we're looking for artists, interior artists, writers, the best comic book, the best indie underground comic, the best, there's tons of different genres. This is the first time we're doing it in this show. Yeah. So, we want your romance comics. We want your satire, anything you can do, bring it to us, You guys, and it's cheap. I understand the small budgets and everything. And the thing about it, guys, we have all kinds of incentives this year we added too in this award. So
we've got a couple sponsors helping us out, so we're going to be able to do some printing of some of the comic books for the grand prize winner.
That's right. We're going to do some printing. You guys are going to be able to print your comic books, and you'll be able to hand them out and sell them, because we love you, man.
Plus, we'll have you come out at IndieCon and actually present them live. That's going to happen in June of 2020. So
yeah, we're going to have panels and everything like that for you comic creators. So you guys need to submit. Yeah. When we launch, what is that? September 1st?
September 1st. It's a Sunday, September 1st. We open it up for this year, so it's going to be really exciting. It's going to happen really fast. Low entry fees for I think there's early entry fees are discounted by half.
Yeah. It's something like what? I'm not even sure anymore. It's so cheap.
It's really cheap, and it's a great prizes this year. So definitely get involved. The Indie Originals Talent Competition, year number 2 for 2020, opens September 1st. Jump in there. Chuck Fresh with Jake Estrada. We'll see you. It's IndieOriginals.com.
Indie Originals, guys.
We'll see you on the other side.
Does got gifts?
That's do you have gifts?
Maybe you speak to your mama that way.
Oh?
Look, Jerry, everybody knows that cute rules. When you speak to a fluffy, you have to speak in the specialist of ways.
That's the most special.
Zip it, Jerry. No one talks to their dogs like that. It goes something like this. Puppy does want a treat, does go for a walk, does got great gift ideas.
Great gift ideas?
Yes, Jerry, listen, humans love gifts. So I made a spider web.
That's website, I think. Never mind.
A website with all the greatest gift ideas ever picked by human. Female humans are so much better at this than male humans, and they're all at one place.
Well, that makes sense. What kind of gifts?
Gifts for teachers, moms and dads, sisters and brothers, brides and grooms, musicians and creative types, people who are high to buy for.
Anything for announcers?
Does got a treat?
Don't keep this great secret to yourself. Sharing is caring. Does Got is growing. Our editors are American, and rest assured you can shop safely. Our store is backed by the security, protections, and awesome customer service provided by Amazon. That's the only place we shop, too. Check out doesgot.com and get yourself something awesome. Treat? You want a treat? Does Got treat?
This is your president speaking. Chuck Fresh is a man after my own heart. He's not afraid to grab him by the, well, you know what I mean. I hated his old show, Local Beat Live, the worst, terrible. But this show, Indie Originals Live, it's tremendous, the best. When I'm not golfing or tweeting from the toilet, my senior staffers will find me holed up in a closet listening to Indie Originals Live. And that Felicia, beautiful, tremendous. Listen to Indie Originals Live every week. Or you may be investigated by the FBI. Just kidding. Fake news. Thank you.
Hey y'all, Big J in the house. The Lord has a special place in his heart for indie music. That's why he hath bestowed upon thee Indie Originals Live, the award-winning #1 podcast for indie music. He and I have blessed that Felicia and her sidekick, Chuck Fresh, with the gift of recognition. These fine souls have the unique gift of being able to choose the most amazing indie music on earth. It's biblical, man. Look, don't take my word for it. Listen for yourself. Indie Originals Live, available on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, iHeart, and everywhere great podcasts are heard. Thanks, y'all. Bless you. Jesus out.